This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today we're going to go through a little passage called "This Too Shall Pass." Now, actually, I can't remember which song this is from. I know that, I don't know how many years ago now. What are we in 2018? Maybe 5 years ago, I would say. Probably even a little bit longer, maybe 6 years ago. I made a couple of mistakes and didn't know how to deal with them at the time. It ruined some friendships, relationships, it affected my business, and there was plenty of lessons to learn. And when I was speaking to my business partner at the time, who is a couple of years older than I am. What is the song? I'm just Googling the song as we talk. He actually passed this song on to me anyway, but he talked about it, the fact that, like, this too shall pass. And it was sort of interesting to understand that no matter what moment we're in at any given time, it also will pass. It's just the way that life is. And sort of sometimes throughout the last couple of years, it has come back to me to understand that no matter how much I try and hold on to something or how much I try and avoid something, I can't speed the fucking process up. I can't hold on to a moment. I can only remember a moment. And when I'm trying to hold on to it, I'm actually never actually in it, rather than learning how to be present. I speak about being present a lot. I speak a lot about being in the moment and all that kind of shit. And sometimes I think those kind of concepts can get a bad rap because they come across very spiritual, David. And we can learn to be in the moment if we try. And it's just can sort of like lose, I don't know. For me, trying to listen to that stuff, I just could never really align with it because it always felt like it was put on or fake or something. But when I actually learned to just appreciate the actual fucking moment that I was living in and take in everything around me, the smells, the people, the colors, like not think about the future. I could think about how I felt in that very moment and soak it in. And when I learned to be with my sadness, when I learned to be with my happiness, when I stopped trying to hide those things or force those things to speed up or hold on to the happiness as if happiness has more weight than sadness, they're both both sides of the same coin. Like, we're trying to get rid of one or ignore one. It's like, buddy, you're going to get heads or tails. And it's just going to come up heads some days, and it's going to come up tails other days. And it's like, that's okay. And when I learned that sadness was this thing that could give me information, right? Information. It's the formation, right? What was the form and the process that gave me this inward understanding of myself or feeling or emotion? And so every single moment, if I'm in that moment, I'm able to actually get this information and learn from it. Why am I sad? If I try and avoid it, I can't learn it. It's going to fucking come up again. It's like, no, why am I sad? Why am I upset about this? Like, what have I missed? You know, and audit myself in that moment, but also learn to audit myself when things are going well and I'm happy and things are, feel good, and look at the information in that situation as well. But what it really truly came down to understand was that, and this is where it's really powerful, is that during difficult times, it'll pass. It will pass. Sometimes it won't feel like it. Sometimes, it takes years for it to pass, but it will pass. And it comes back to like this Stoic quote of, I think it was Marcus Aurelius, if it's endurable, then endure it. Like, go through it. You're allowed to go through it. And we never avoid it. We know this. We never avoid it. We can only prolong it, and prolonging something makes it worse. Timing is everything, yes, but the thing about the idea of timing, it presupposes that there has to be a point in time where you make a decision. So it's understanding that the difficulties that we face today, or maybe we're in a good situation at this point in time, everything's kind of gelling, and that's great. but that too shall pass, and you will move into a winter. In fact, like the seasons of life, and under spiral dynamics, the Claire Graves model, they talk about alpha, beta, gamma, delta, which are the seasons. It's effectively summer, autumn, winter, and spring. And the more in touch we are with our own understanding of where we are in that cycle, the better that we can actually avoid a really deep, dark winter, which is that sadness. At the start of this year, so my birthday's on the 1st of January, and people often have their New Year's resolutions, or maybe they have their New Year's wishing the best year for everyone sort of thing. And I wrote a passage this year I'll share with you, because it sort of ties into this idea that this too shall pass. And it's not just reminding people about the happy will pass, because I mean that's true, but it's also that when we go through long periods of difficult times, it will pass. It will. And I've said it a lot this podcast already, but it's just so crucial to understand that things will shift, and they do. Sometimes they get worse. Sometimes they get harder before they get better, but they do get better. All right, so 1st of January. It has been 3 years since I shook hands with the devil. It was January the 1st, 2015. I woke up alone, depressed. I felt hopeless and useless. I hated what my life had become. It was the day I turned 26. This was the day the devil and I made a deal. If I write a book and I'm still useless, then it'll be okay to end it. I justified that as a normal thing to think back then. Looking at it now, I wasn't suicidal. I just really hated my life. That was a turning point for me. It took a long time, but momentum started to go the other way. People talk about good years and bad years, but I don't believe there really is good and bad. I'm not being optimistic. I really believe that if you're breathing, then you can move forward. You can grow, learn, give, become more. Every day we wake up, we have an opportunity to make the world a better place. Although this is noble, the reality is that we have to sort ourselves out first. We can't make the world a better place by being miserable. We have to work on ourselves. Something I learned just over a year ago is that two most important things in life are how you contribute and the memories you make. I learned this at Alex's funeral. I never prepared myself to walk one of my best mates to his hearse. If you're reading this, it means you're still alive. It means you have got through everything you've ever faced. Keep pushing forward. It took me nearly 3 years to turn my life around. They say you should surround yourself with good people. Well, to do that, you yourself must be a good person. Sometimes it takes longer than a year to get yourself out of a hole or to get where you want to be, and that's okay. The destination isn't what's important. It's who you become because of the adversity. I'm so grateful for the people in my life, for those who have stood by me when I felt like I could barely walk, for those that left and taught me that I had to become a better person, and for this lady, my love. I'll stand next to Gina. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the strength you need to make 2018 a memorable year. Just remember, you are currently living the good old days. Peace and pizza. That's right, I even signed off, peace and pizza. So that was something that took me a little while to sort of break down and understand, especially because people are like, oh, 2017 was a good year, 2016 was a bad year, this and that. It's just like, don't lose the forest because you're staring at a tree and saying it's good or bad. The reality that you're living in today, right now, in this moment, just is, it's what can you learn from it, how can you grow from it, and how can you either replicate it or make sure you're never there again. How can you contribute, how can you build memories? And those are the things that really matter. Not other people's judgment of you, not whether you make more money than another person. None of that sort of stuff really matters in the end. It's really about, once again, how you contribute, the memories you make, but your actual ability to live in the current moment. Otherwise, the future is only reserved for those that can live in the present. Team, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it on with another person that you think would also find it beneficial. Otherwise, if you haven't already, check it out, davenixon.com.au/memberships. And find out about Mood Prep Online. I'd love to see you guys in there, continue the conversation of these podcasts and pulling things apart, asking questions. So I've got to do monthly Q&As in there as well. Otherwise, team, that's it. I am out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. I really do. Otherwise, until tomorrow, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you guys soon.